Hello friends, this is Deepali Mule. Today we are going to discuss about force and work. Lesson number 16, class 4, subject science. So dear students, in this video we are going to learn about force, types of force, work done and activities where work is not done. So in this video we are going to discuss about different types of force. Let us see one example of force. As this boy is moving this toy. It means that for moving this toy, that boy is pushing or pulling this toy. So this is one example of force. This boy is applying force on that small car, on that toy. Let us see the many more things about force. So what is meant by force? A push or pull acting on a body is called as a force. So in force, that two activities will come, that is push or pull. As day-to-day life, we are doing lots of work. For doing any type of work, as we are using mostly push or pull activity. A force happens when two objects interact with each other. That is, when one object does something to other object. When the interaction stops, the force also stops. Let us see examples of force. When the wind pushes a sailboat through the water, it is exerting a force. When gravity pulls an apple towards the ground, that is one example of a force. If I am throwing one pin downside, so it will come downside, it will come towards the ground. So this is an example of force only. So dear students, here we are going to discuss about different effects of force. The first one, that is, a force can move an object. When we are applying force to any object, that object will move. That object will change place from one position to another position. Second one, that is, force can stop the moving object. If we are throwing ball from one side and other player is catching that ball, so it means that with the help of force, we can stop the moving object. Third effect, that is, force can change the direction of moving object. It means that when we are throwing ball, so by applying the force, we can change the direction of moving object. Fourth one, a force can change the shape and size of an object. As we know that, as we are blowing balloon, so we can change the shape of that object. We can change the size of the object. It means that by applying force, we can change shape and size of object. So dear students, in this way, we have learned the different types of effects of force on different objects. There are many different types of forces are there, like gravitational force, frictional force, muscular force, mechanical force. So in this way, we are going to learn many more types of force. But in our class, in 4th standard, we are going to learn about two different types of force. First one, gravitational force, and second one, that is the frictional force. So let us see first one, that is gravitational force. So what is meant by gravitational force? We all have seen that a ball that is thrown up in the sky, it will fall down back only towards the ground. If I am throwing this pen downside, it will come downside only. It will come towards the ground only. Why it is? Because of gravitational force. So here you can see one example I have shown you. This is the one apple tree. This apple will fall downside. It will not go up. Because of gravitational force, because of gravity, that apple come towards ground only. So this is one example of gravitational force. So gravitational force means the force of attraction of the earth that pulls object towards itself is known as gravitational force. This is because a force acts on the ball which pull it back towards the ground. So this is called as a gravitational force. And second one, that is the frictional force. So this is also important. When you push a book on a table, It slides across the table but then stop after some time. Why it is? Because of frictional force. Let us see what is meant by frictional force. The force acts in between the book and the surface of table, which reduces the movement of a book. This force is known as a frictional force. Frictional force means what? The force exerted by a surface when an object slides over it. Frictional force is also a force that opposes a motion, that opposes moving object. Frictional force can be seen in everyday life. It is found everywhere where objects come in contact with each other. So dear students, here I have shown you one example of frictional force. A moving car is stopped by applying brakes. When we are applying brakes, after some time that car will slow down and afterward it will stop. This is because of frictional force. Because friction causes in between the brakes and wheel and it stops the movement of that car. If we walk on a very smooth surface like ice or oil, we may get slip. This is because there is a less friction. It means that rough surface offer more friction while smooth surface offer less friction. Let us see gravitational force means what? The force that pulls object towards earth is called as gravity. For example, rain drops pulls towards the ground because of gravitational force. And we learn about frictional force. We have learned that force is needed to stop a moving object. Now roll a ball slowly. After some time, the ball stops rolling on its own. This is because of frictional force. Now let us see, observe this picture carefully. When your bicycle tire goes flat, is it easy to pull the bicycle? No. We cannot pull the bicycle because friction is one of the force. It stops the movement of object. So let us see. On smooth surface, things move longer distance and on rough surface, the movement stops. This is because things with a rough surface, it causes more friction. And when we hold anything with our hands and there is a friction acting between our fingers and object, and due to the friction, that object does not slip out. Okay, and if I have applied oil on my surface, my hand, so we cannot hold any object for a longer time, it will slip down. Now, let us see, we are going to discuss about work. So dear students, observe both the picture here, picture A and picture B. In picture A, man is pushing a trolley or box. Okay, and in second picture you can see a lady is trying to push a wall. So observe both the picture. So my dear students, on applying force, that box will move. That trolley will move from one place to another place. But you have observed the picture number B. When this lady is applying more force on that wall will not move. That wall will not change the place. It means that in picture A, that man has done the work, but in picture B, that lady has not done any type of work. So work means what? So work is said to be done when force applied on an object, it causes movement, little distance. Work is done, or we can call as work is done as the box is moved, but work is not done as the wall is not moved. When we are applying force on that object will not move. So we can say that we have not done any type of work. Other example you can see, in other examples, work being done. So here a horse pulling a cart. Second picture, a man pushing a wheelchair. Third picture also you can see that weightlifting. It means that everywhere that people has done work. In science, we use the word differently. It means that someone does work only when he or she uses force to move something. So scientifically, we can say that children are pushing or pulling the box. We can say that we have done the work. But we are continuously sitting on one place only. So at that time, we can say that we have not done any type of work. On the other hand, the children sitting still at one place. So they have not done any type of work. Work is said to be done when an object is displayed. When object will move place, object will change the position. So we can say that we have done the work. So there are two conditions are necessary for work. The first one, we have to apply the force, and second one, the object has to move little distance at least. So we can say that work has done. I hope you may have understood this topic. So thank you and have a nice day.